I'm Kihara, and in this video I'm going to give you some tips on how to get the best results possible for your IGCSEs. And at the end of the video, I'm going to give you some tips on preparation and how to make the most out of your revision sessions. So I found this YouTube channel called Science with Hazel, and she covers basically the whole syllabus under 3 hours for all the science subjects. So whether you're doing the triple award or the double award, she's your best friend. I also found this website called Save My Exams, and basically they have revision notes for all the sciences and maths, as well as questions based on difficulty, so easy questions, hard questions. I think this goes for all the subjects really, revise, past paper questions, exam. But for me, for bio, I found like using my own methods easy to remember because there's a lot, I think in bio there's a lot of facts you gotta know and then lay it out there, right? So for the eye, for instance, looking into bright light, circular muscles contract, radial muscles relax, pupil constricts to allow less light into the eye. So basically CCRR, bright light, and then likewise obviously for dim light it would be vice versa. So that's something you could do. And also if you're looking at a near object, suspensory ligaments slacken, ciliary muscles contract, so CCSS likewise. And also it's good to know Latin words such as pulmonary means lung, renal relating to kidney, hepatic relating to liver likewise. And also for genes and inheritance, hetero means different, obviously heterosexual, etc. And homo means same, and homogeneous recessive like that, so it helps you remember those things. For physics, I use a lot of acronyms, mnemonics. I use a lot of mnemonics to remember things. So for example, the order of the EM spectrum, raging Martians invaded Venus using X-ray guns. And then I remember R for radio, obviously. It has the longest wavelength and shortest frequency, and then obviously gamma has the highest frequency, shortest wavelength. And for chemistry, the reactivity series, I think there are a number of mnemonics that you can use to remember that, but I used Police Sergeant Lieutenant Charlie Max Zintel had caught me stealing gold plate. As well as the fractions, so refinery gases, petroleum, red people never kill dogs, fairies, or babies. I made that up. It sounds totally weird, but likewise you can make a ton of them for different subjects and different parts of the spec, anything, your own thing. So something you can remember. Obviously at the end of the day it just depends on what you can remember at the exam. So for English language I did spec A. So Mrs. Ramsey, I think a lot of people probably know this, but it's a YouTube channel. She's a YouTube channel? It's a YouTube channel? I don't know. Either way, so basically she summarizes and goes through analysis of all the text, paper 1 and paper 2, in the time varies, but and basically I summarized all those videos and my own notes into one an A4 for paper 1 and paper 2 respectively. So if anyone's interested, I can send you that also via email or Instagram. Also I recommend that you Google, there's this website that has 50 language techniques. It's best to know as many language techniques as possible, because then it makes it easier when you go to the exam. You can't remember a particular quote that goes with the technique, and you can just find it in there. You can be like, okay, anadiplosis, nice, I know that. Likewise. And for the unseen text as well, you don't really have to know. No. For the comparative, you do need language. So it's best to know that for the unseen as well in paper 1. For computer science, I found this YouTube channel called Mr. Brown CS, and he goes through paper 1, paper 2 content in I think 2 hours or so. So he was pretty good. And papers, I can never stress that, honestly. So I didn't really do anything special for ICT, but I did make notes of the entire textbook. I think textbook is very good, and this goes for any subject again. Textbook will help you in every single way. And for maths, I think the best thing to do is to make sure you know all the theory work, and then apply those in past paper questions. The papers in the new spec are relatively challenging, so I think papers 100% just do them. Just do as many papers as you can, to be honest. I also have a formula sheet that I found online. It has all the theory you need to know for, oh, by the way, I did maths spec B, that has all the formulae you need to know for maths. And if anyone's interested, I can send that to you on Instagram or an email. For geography, all I did was really just read all my notes like 5 times, and then I did past paper questions. By the way, I did coastal environments, hazardous environments, urban environments, economic activity and energy, and fragile, and obviously the field work for urban and hazardous. So I basically summarized each of those respective sections into one A4 as well, and I'd be more than happy to send you that. For French, I think this is pretty obvious, but like know your grammar, so as many tenses as possible. Past tense, perfect, sorry, same thing, future, pluperfect, imperfect, etc. And be very familiar with your adjectival agreements, because like you need that not only for the grammar section but for your writing and your comprehension, so it really helps you in anything. And again, papers. And also, if you're speaking, you can use that content you've written for like your writing part. So, you know, don't throw that away when you're done. Like, I've seen people just like ripping it up and throwing it away. You need that. It's gonna help you. Okay, don't throw it away. Don't throw it away. For literature, SparkNotes has anything you need to get a 9, I swear to God. The analysis of language and context is so good, so good. I bought the books as well, which, so if anyone's interested, I can send you those. So, preparation, just start as early as possible. I started revising 2 months before my mock, but then it got postponed, so it ended up being 3 months. And then before my exam, 4 months. So yeah, but then obviously if we had the exam, which we didn't, it would have been like 5 months. So again, because at the end of the day, you don't want to be stressed. You don't want to be like, shit, what am I, excuse me, you don't want to be like, oh, what am I doing, I don't know what I'm doing. You don't want that feeling. You don't. So start as early as possible. Make a timetable. So I just plan my revision a day in advance. So this is an example of what I did. And also you can download the Edexcel app and just add in your subjects or whatever, and then once you complete it for each section, you can type that in, and basically they'll tell you how much percentage of each subject you have left to study. So I don't know, geography 75%, something like that. They'll give you a pre-made timetable, so if you don't really have no idea where to start, they will give you that. And they were actually the best in helping me where to start, because initially, like, I was like, where do I start? I mean, you think that there's a lot, but there isn't really. So if you're not sure where to start, I suggest you download that app. Some teachers, I swear, they give you so much, and you don't have to know like a quarter of what they give you. It can actually get annoying sometimes. So the spec, when you're revising for any test, revise from the spec. So know the spec well, the content that you need on the spec, because that will be very helpful in the long term. For me, basically what I did was my general revision, went through theory of all my subjects, and that was 2 months for my mock. From then onwards, I just did past papers, and if I found something that I was struggling with, I would go through that. And if you do come across anything that, like, I don't know, maybe you did in year 10 that you're not very confident with, or you don't understand, I do suggest that you ask your teacher. I think for bio, I was a bit confused with the nitrogen cycle, and there's I think it's free science lessons. He basically like 1-2 minute video of that, and I had the nitrogen cycle down pat. So like that, you know, if it's something like that. Of course, if it's maths though, I suggest that you ask a teacher, because maths can be a bit tricky on YouTube. BBC Bite Size for any subject, context literature, anything for the sciences. They have everything. It's a very good resource to use for all the subjects. I think that goes for commerce as well. Although I didn't do the commerce subjects, so I'm not too sure. But yeah, a book stand. So I have a very weak neck and back, so I was getting a lot of muscle problems when I was revising, so I got this book stand. So basically you can just keep the book like this on your desktop, and then like when you're reading it, obviously you can read it like this so you're not straining your neck, and I found that so useful. If you have like a neck problem or anything, you need to do that. I cannot stress this enough. Past papers, don't just do 2 and think, okay, I'm fine. Do a lot, do as many as possible, because past papers are basically the foundation of what questions you'll get in the actual exam, because they can't give you something you don't know or something that hasn't come before. It'll usually be an application of what's come before. So do past papers and be familiar with mark scheme answers, because sometimes they give you like this whole space and you only need to write in like 2 lines to get the full mark, full like 6 marks even sometimes. Like for example, cloning, genetic modification, etc. You literally only need that much. I'm also selling some revision guides and notes that for half price, because I've used a few others I haven't. I will let you know if you're interested. So you can contact me on Instagram or email, which I will link in the description box below. I hope you found the video useful, and I wish you all the very best with your exams. Just main thing is, don't worry, it's just an exam. Honestly, I tell this to everyone who ain't freaking out. Just remember this. All it is a paper, a pen, and your brain. That's all. It's not like you're running a race, trust me. Just don't worry about it. Just do your revision, know your stuff, and you'll be fine. Good luck.